Hello there, saludo mal tiempo report. En este informe hablo en español primero sobre el tema de huracanes y tifones y después en English about everything and everything else. Sí. Primero hay un tifón Utor en el noroeste pacífico. Esta tormenta está moviendo hacia las Filipinas y las Filipinas tiene un señal número 2 por vientos y tiene la probabilidad o la posibilidad de inundaciones repentinas y deslaves y lluvias mareados a intensos y sí, y tifón Labuyo o tifón Utor. Labuyo Utor, sí. Y tenemos una zona de probabilidad aquí, pero en el momento es baja. Y por aquí en el Atlántico tenemos una zona de probabilidad de 10%. Entonces también es baja. Y esta zona en el momento tiene una probabilidad de 40%, pero en el 55 días o algo así tiene una probabilidad de 70% para esta zona. Y esta zona por aquí hay una probabilidad de 10%. Por ciento, sí. Y hay una tormenta tropical Henriette en el Pacífico Central, pero no hay ninguna peligros afectando tierra en el momento. Y es todo para hoy, creo que sí. So back to English, where we'll talk about Typhoon Utor. Utor, what was originally predicted by probably the JTWC rather than the JMA, predicted to become the equivalent of a Category 4 hurricane. Then yesterday, predicted to become the equivalent of Category 1 hurricane, thereabouts in this part, is now predicted to become the equivalent of a Category 2 hurricane before making landfall in the Philippines and moving onward. So this one is Labuyo/Utor. The Philippines has a signal number 2 in effect for strong winds, and then they've also got the possibilities of moderate to intense rain, and then flash floods and landslides with this storm. And then we've got this area of low possibility over there per the JTWC. This thing has a 10% chance of tropical cyclone formation in the next 24 hours. I believe it also has, or next 48 hours, I should say, for this one. And I believe it's also 10% for the next 5 days. This one is 40% chance of tropical cyclone formation in the next 48 hours, but 70% in the next 5 days. And the 10% area is 10% now, but 20% in the next, that is 20% in the next 5 days. And then, of course, Tropical Storm Henriette, who has moved into the Central Pacific Hurricane Basin, or whatnot, Ocean Basin. And, of course, since Henriette's spaghetti models are predicting a cross along the, this is the international dateline, so everything has to wrap around the, huge, long way. But yes, Tropical Storm Henriette is far enough away from land at the moment, and predicted to stay as such, that Henriette, in fact, there you go, that is how big Henriette is on the satellite compared to where Hawaii is. So no land hazards with that one at the moment, and probably not at all. So that is what is going on. In fact, let's turn on the satellite and go back over here and look at Utor. There you go, that is Utor, and a whole bunch of multi-tempo around it. So Typhoon Utor moving into the Philippines very shortly. So that is what is happening in the land of tropical cyclones, in the land of severe thunderstorm weather as it relates to only the US today. Oh, well, that one's going to be a little bit out of date. In fact, let's see if we refresh. There we go. There is the 2000. Let's see. Then got to go ahead. Let's see. That's a 1630. Yes, we'll just refresh all of these things on the fly. There we go. So now you get to see what the difference was from one outlook to the next. In fact, we'll just go ahead and refresh the watch page as well. So this is the watch that's in effect right now. Severe thunderstorm watch for Virginia until 8 p.m. EDT. And we'll go ahead and refresh this one too. So one severe thunderstorm warning in effect, and then a couple of flash flood warnings back to that area. In general today, this is the map showing the probability of severe winds, which would be winds 58 miles per hour greater, so there's your greatest threat today. But look how many states are touched by that 5% back there. And then an isolated-ish type of area there with a 5% chance. Hail-wise, not as great of a threat today. This is the map showing the probability of 1 inch or larger hail. So basically, for this area back here, it's almost the same area is under the threat of hail as it is for the threat of wind, and that it completely loses this area. Tornado-wise, this, oddly enough, is where, here is where the highest wind threat is today, and apparently here's where there's only the threat of the tornado. Doesn't mean that the tornado can happen anywhere else. It just means that, outlook-wise, this is where it's most likely to happen or whatnot. Tomorrow, 15% chance again, and again with a pretty large area of 5%, and then an isolated area there and there. So it's a lot like today, except that it just, moves a bit and changes shape and whatnot. SevereWeatherTV.com is the official homepage of this screencast. WikiWix is WICKEDWX.com, and Cyclocane is CYCLOCANE.com. And hopefully you're staying safe out there. And yeah, that's it for today.